Hello everyone, this is Schwartz Fiat, and today I'm going to be giving you a little quick video, or at least try to be a quick video, talking about the Hawken free-to-play system, or free-to-play mechanics, or whatever they have in place. So this is an assessment or review of simply the free-to-play, or how they have their free-to-play structure, and not a review of the actual game. So we're going to be looking at four major questions in this video. Number one, what are the drawbacks of being completely free to play? Number two, is it pay to win? Number three, is there ridiculous price gouging? And number four, can I be competitive if I don't pay a dime, or if I'm just starting out against and then get put in a fight against the people who have played a lot of money or have paid a lot of money? So I'll be looking at those four questions and giving you an honest assessment of it. So let's begin with the first one. What are the drawbacks of being completely free to play, and how slow is advancement in the game if you don't pay any money? Well, the game has two currencies: your Hawken credits, which you earn by playing the game and accomplishing achievements, and then the meteor credits is what you earn by spending real money. With Hawken credits, you can purchase the boosters right off the bat, for experience, or we'll talk more about that later, for experience or more Hawken credits. But I have found that generally speaking, with the free to play and no booster, you get, or I get, around 100 to 150 Hawken credits a match. Now if you want to buy a new mech, that's 6,410 Hawken credits, and then all the equipment and upgrades range from about 2,500 to 3,800 Hawken credits. So as you can see, based on that, it will take quite a while based on standard match victory. However, you also get achievements throughout the game, which then award Hawken credits. You can look at the in-progress ones here. Things like eliminating enemies on a kill streak and things like that. And there's some that are really basic achievements, like 100 Hawken credits for winning as a particular team, or you get like 100 each time you step foot into a new mech. Or, you get, for every so many enemies you kill while using a particular mech, you get work towards achievements for that, and other stuff. One of the things I found, though, is when you first start the game, there's a lot of beginner achievements that are easy to earn, and so I was able to get about 6,400 Hawken credits to buy a new robot within about a couple hours of play because of all the beginner easy to earn achievements. And then I was able to earn a little bit more not long after that to get a turret, or unlock the turret. Let's go back to the garage here. Which I unlocked the turret here for 2,800 or so Hawken credits. So basically, it does kind of give you a little bit of a boost starting out with the easy to earn achievements, and as you play you'll earn additional achievements that gives Hawken credits. But the standard rate at which you gain them for matches is based on whether or not you won or lost, and how long the match lasted and things like that. But I say for me it averages between 100 and 150 Hawken credits earned from the match itself and not achievements. So it is quite slow. Yeah. So it's not the fastest thing. On the one hand, again, I guess I should say it is beta, so it's probably going to change, but yeah, so it's still kind of slow if you don't buy a booster. Alright, moving on. Next we're going to talk about, so it's really slow. So let's say you're the kind of person who's a casual player like me and doesn't have the time to make playing games your entire life. Can you be competitive when you start out and don't have all this advanced equipment? And the answer is yes. This is where Hawken shines in its brilliance in approaching this. The first mech you get for free and start with is called the CRT Recruit. The nice thing about this mech is it doesn't suck, and it's designed for beginner players with them in mind. And as you can see here, it has at the bottom here you can see your offensive and defensive and functional internal components. These are passive. And if you looked on the other mech, I don't know if I showed it, the one that I've unlocked, I have none of the components unlocked. With the CRT Recruit, you start out with this. It's a brand new radiator, brand new cage, and a brand new regulator. You know, the brand new radiator makes it so your weapons don't overheat as soon. This makes it so you increase your energy or fuel regeneration, and this over here increases your armor. But if you probably can't see it because I can't seem to record in good video quality for the programs I have, but the effect decreases as your mech levels up. So eventually you're going to have to purchase some of this other stuff here in order to gain an advantage. But the thing is, with the other stuff you have to buy, it gives you an advantage, but it also comes with a penalty. The new stuff that it gives you for the CRT Recruit to start out with, the only penalty is it decreases in effect as you level up. And so basically, when you start out the game as a new CRT Recruit and you're facing somebody who has a level 25 CRT Recruit, you're going to have more hit points than them. You're going to have, you know, less heat generated when you fire your weapon. So it gives you a huge and noticeable buff when you start out to allow you to be competitive. And not only that, the starting equipment that the CRT Recruit has is a shield, which can be pretty good. So your beginner mech doesn't suck at all. Not only that, your secondary weapon is the tow missile, which is quite powerful. So there's a lot of people who get a lot of kills with the Recruit. So yes, in answer to that question, you can be competitive from the start. You know, I mean, obviously other players are going to learn, you know, more tactics, know the map better, and so that's going to make a difference. But as far as mech strength, you don't really feel that weak starting out because, again, of those buffs. Not to mention, as some other players have talked about, one of the things that you have to get used to is managing your weapons heating and not making sure you do not overheat in battle, which can be really bad. So the beginner mech, all mechs have a special ability, and the beginner mech has one that when activated instantly cools your weapons. So until you get good at managing heat and all that, your beginner mech has the ability to help you out along those lines. So yes, you can be competitive from the start. So that's another good thing. Alright, the next question we're going to address is the game pay to win? Now obviously this is a big concern for a lot of people with free-to-play models, because as we all know, games like Global Agenda were hardcore pay to win, which was utterly ridiculous. But how does this game compare? Well, obviously you can buy all this different stuff with real money. And when I first saw things like the EMP, and I know it says EMI if you look closely here, but that's because I'm playing the German version if you haven't noticed. But I'm pretty sure that's what it is in English, EMP. But basically, what it does is when you fire it, and if you hit an enemy, it will make it so their systems disrupt, and they can't, I don't think they have a HUD, and they're definitely unable to fire their weapons. And so as you can imagine, in one-on-one combat, this gives you a clear advantage. And I don't think there's any level restrictions on when you can buy this. I may be wrong since I'm level 14, but you can buy this with real money fairly quickly and then begin to use it. So when I first saw things like that, I was like, well, that's definitely a pay-to-win advantage. But then I noticed this. You have three things here that you can activate before a match, and coincidentally you should. It's in the bottom right. You have to select it, which one you want, and then you have to click activate, and then it'll automatically kick in. You know, you have your fire extinguisher, battery recharge, and anti-radar disruption device. But things like this, the battery recharge, makes it so that if someone hits you with an EMP charge, this instantly negates that effect, but it's a consumable item. And when you start the game, they give you 15 of each of these for free, I believe. Or, wait. Okay, no. Okay, looking at it, you get 15 total, and if you use one, or as I understand it, let's say you have 15 and then you use a battery recharge, then everything, including the fire extinguishers and the other one, will go down to 14. So I guess it's like a universal stock. But basically the thing about this is you can buy more, but you can only buy these with Hawken credits, which is again the credits that you earn for playing the game. So basically what you have is you can buy the EMP, for example, with real money, but the defense against it can only be bought with Hawken credits, so earned by playing the game. So in other words, if you actually earn the EMP yourself, your enemy has to use money that they earned by playing the game, and they just can't buy the defense to it. And again, you start out with 15 total countermeasures, which could help you out a bit, and then you can buy more. But with some other things too, like you have your offensive and defensive components. Like, take a look at this. This is armor piercing ammunition. It increases your main gun damage by 5%, but it reduces your armor by 3.5%. So all of these things come with penalties. So I mean, it's kind of a similar thing to what they try to do with PlanetSide, in that, you know, it's a trade-off. However, a good person can make this or negate the effects of the disadvantage. I mean, for example, with this armor breaking ammunition or armor piercing, you know, if you play as a hardcore sniper bot, which currently is overpowered and makes you lame, but anyways, that's another story, and don't intend to get hit anyways, and if you do, you'll have plenty of time to run to cover and repair, you know, this is definitely an advantage. And then on some of the defense times, you know, faster repair, you know, this increases your armor but reduces your damage. This decreases damage done to you, but also decreases speed. So it's kind of somewhere in the middle as to whether or not it's pay to win. But given the fact that the disadvantages of some of this stuff is pretty significant, I mean, 5% less explosion damage taken, but you take 2% more damage from guns. And your speed is reduced by 1. So it's definitely some things to consider. So in that sense, it really does not feel like a pay-to-win advantage in that regard with regards to equipment. However, you can also buy mechs with real money, but each mech has its own independent level. So if you've been working hard like I have on one particular mech, and like I've got the Infiltrator to level 15, or 14 rather, you know, if someone were to come into the game and buy another mech, you know, there's level restrictions on certain weapons, like the secondary weapon you cannot use, or I mean the second primary weapon option, as you can see here, the heat turret. It doesn't show it because I'm level 14, but you can't use this weapon until you're level 4. But again, the weapons are generally, I found, are trade-offs. This does more damage, but obviously a slower rate of fire. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But yeah, that's basically it with the weapons and equipment. And some of this other stuff you can buy, like the deployable turret, unless you deploy this in a really good spot and catch your enemies off guard, it's pretty much useless, because you can destroy this thing in one grenade hit or a couple seconds of machine gun shots. So like I say, basically with the equipment, it's not too much pay to win, but as you level up your mech, you can put points into your optimizations. But these bonuses are, at a glance, look really, really small. You know, like increases your fire rate by 0.33%. So you have to put basically 3 points into this to get 1% faster fire rate. Though I'd imagine with as fast as this stuff's firing and all that, those bonuses and stuff could add up. But basically, even if you buy a new mech with real money, you're still going to have to take the time to level it up. And you get 1 point for optimizations with each level. And then there's also other upgrades that you have to earn with leveling up, and some of them are passive. Like for example, when you get the Infiltrator to level 10, the damage radius in your grenade launcher is increased by 10%. or what I was really looking forward to in 14, it reduces the heat by 3% that your primary gun generates. So these are advantages earned. Basically what I'm saying is you can buy a new mech with real money, but you're going to have to play with it for quite a while before you get access to better stuff. So then the other option then is, well, what if you buy an XP or experience or Hawken credits booster to get that stuff more quicker, or the experience booster. I have found that, you know, on one hand, yes, you could level up definitely quicker if you purchase an XP boost, but the only thing I found that was really painfully slow is the rate at which you gain Hawken credits. I have really not found, you know, gaining experience for each individual mech has been an incredibly slow process. I mean, I've not even played, let's see, I don't think I've played an actual game, maybe 4 or so hours, and my infiltrator is already level 14, and I've got a sharpshooter to level 3, but that's still in the trial, and then my other CR2 recruit is level 5. So I really haven't found the leveling up for each individual mechs without a booster to be that painfully slow, because there's other things like particular siege. If you gather energy, that gives you 1 experience point for each energy point you gather. You know, kills, assist, all that stuff earns you experience points for your mech, whereas the only thing that earns Hawken credits is achievements and winning or losing the game. You get some points for losing, more for winning, and then more credits for the longer the match lasts. So I guess to sum it up, is it pay to win? Well, I'm kind of on the fence, but I'm leaning more towards the side of the fence which says it's not exactly pay to win, because there's still level restrictions. You still have to level up, and the leveling up process for each mech isn't as tedious and slow as gaining Hawken credits. And when you consider with the equipment, it all having major trade-offs, and each benefit gained from the passive equipment comes with a penalty that you would do well to consider carefully before trying. So ultimately, I really do not feel they're really totally pay to win, I guess, if that makes any sense, but you can make your own judgments based on what I've said. Okay, next question. Is there ridiculous price gouging in this game? In a word, yes. In another word, absolutely. This is actually one of the highest, I mean, with regards to price gouging, some people would say that PlanetSide is ridiculous for price gouging because it charges you $7 for a gun or something like that, $5 for a camo. Here's the thing that's interesting though, and I think this is a lot worse than PlanetSide with regards to the price gouging. Let me explain why. Let's say you want to customize the way your mechs looks, change the color. You know, all this stuff costs real money, and you can buy 720 meteor credits for $5, and if you buy a whole lot more at a time, it's obviously a discount. So like you can look at the prices yourself to see, but basically here's the thing. This right here costs 500 and some meteor credits, and I basically just bought the $10 or the meteor credit package, which was $10, for the simple fact that I have this personal belief, if you're playing a game and you even enjoy it in the slightest or continue to play it for any length of time, you should financially support it. So I just threw in $10 and figured, since my name's Schwartz Fiat, looking all black would be appropriate. Here's what I noticed though. So I paid 530 some meteor credits for this volcano orange camo. I bought it for the infiltrator, and then I was like, I wonder something. Could I equip it on my other mech? Hey, no you can't. You have to buy it for each individual mech. And this is where it gets ridiculous. So let's say you love one mech, and then you decide you want to play as another mech or a different class, but still keep the same camo. Guess what? You got to buy it again. At least PlanetSide had the decency to make it so if you purchase a vehicle camo, you can put it on any vehicle, and if you buy the $5 camo, you have unlimited uses. The fact that you have to rebuy everything for each individual mech, I think is kind of ridiculous. And it's not just that, it's also the equipment. And while I can understand it somewhat, so if you bought like certain things for one mech, you'd have to buy them again for another mech. And I mean, this honestly does make sense because different mechs have different free starter equipment for the help or support equipment. For example, the Infiltrator starts with the radar jammer, whereas the CRT Recruit starts with the shield, and if you want to use the other ones as that, you have to buy them. But again, if you buy them of one class, it's only unlocked for that class and not across all classes. Which again is kind of, it's the same with the other equipment here. You buy it for one class, you're going to have to buy it for another. So basically, going back, now that's another thing with being free to play. I guess I should have mentioned earlier, if you don't get the Hawken credit booster, if you want to have a couple different mechs and classes well fit and with the equipment you like, it's going to take you quite a while to earn it. But yeah, like I say, so I unlocked the turret on the one, but I'd have to unlock it here again. Yeah, so I don't think I really need to say much more about that. There is definitely, in my opinion, some price gouging, and let me show you how it gets even worse. Let's say you want an experience booster or a Hawken credits booster. You can get it one for 1 day for 288 Meteor credits. But, as I was saying, the basic package is $5 for 720. Or you can get a 30-day booster that doubles your whatever for 1440. So that's basically $10 right there for a 30-day booster. It'd have been nice if they'd have had something like Tribes Ascend has, in that if you buy even one thing from the store, you get a permanent 50% bonus to your XP gain. But there's nothing like that here. Timed boosters, and personally I think $10 for a 30-day booster is ridiculous. Not to mention, it's the XP and the Hawken credit gain boosters are independent of each other. So if you want to boost your experience gain for a month and your Hawken credits gain for a month, you're going to have to be paying a total of like $20. And yeah, personally I don't think that's worth it, but you can form your own opinions based on that information. Now again, granted, it is currently beta, and should there be a update to the game or an update to the free-to-play system, I will definitely change this video or alter it to reflect those changes. However, as it stands, the strong points of the free-to-play model is you can be competitive from the start. The downside is there is a bit of price gouging, and let's see, yeah, you're going to have to be working a while to get access to anything if you don't buy a booster. So, as an overall score, I would probably rate the free-to-play system for this game as a 5 out of 10. So, I mean, it's not the greatest free-to-play system I've ever seen, but having played Global Agenda, I can honestly say it's definitely not the worst. Global Agenda gets a -10 in my opinion in regards to the free-to-play model. But don't even get me started on that crap. Anyways, hopefully you found this useful, and yeah, mainly just hopefully you found this useful. But anyways, that's my assessment of the Hawken free-to-play model. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.